So today is clean out day. Whoopee! So as you might know, we've had chickens in here for almost a year using the deep litter bedding method. Everything is super dry, which is great, but it's become very dusty, a wee bit hostile in here. So today I'm going to do what will probably become an annual clean out, where we scrape out all the deep litter bedding and replace it. Wish us luck. We'll be using the bedding that we take out of the tube in here on our fruit bushes. It's very attractive, isn't it? Just before we start, in case you didn't know, this is a 6x3 Polytunnel purchased from Amazon almost a year ago. It cost us about, I think, £120. And this has been where our chickens live for the whole of the winter, and it's withstood quite a few really big storms, so it's doing really well. We've framed out around the door, as you can see here, and there are 2x4s along the sides, kind of sandwiching the cover down, and we also have bungee cord across the top of the tunnel to hold the cover down tight when it gets really windy. But as long as we do up these wee windows from the outside, if it's really strong wind, it usually copes pretty well. So far, so good. We're hoping it'll go through another winter, and then maybe next year we'll replace the cover. So yeah, it's all good. For now, let's get rid of this and get tidied up. Okay, so I think I'm about halfway through, and I thought I'd just show you what the deep litter bedding looks like. So you can see here the height of that is probably about 10 inches, goes up to a foot in some places. Okay, so this is some time later. Cleaned myself up. That took about 2 hours of cleaning out the tube of all the deep litter bedding. So I'll show you what we've done with all that bedding. So this is the fruit bush area. And essentially, we've managed to cover the whole thing. So I'm hoping what happened last year will happen again, and that's that we will put it down, which we have, and then over winter, with all the rain and the snow, etc., it will essentially act as a pretty impressive mulch, and I think that will help the fruit bushes again. They're not looking great this year. They fruited very early, a reasonable crop, but not as much as last year. And we had some aphids on these ones, which I believe are the white currant. So not great. So these two white currants, and there's two red currants behind them, are new, and we've never had an aphid problem before, but it's really affected the black currants as well this year. So I don't know, but I think that this will help, and it was a good use of all the mulch that came from in here. So what we have now essentially is a dry floor. All right, calm down. We've got our nest boxes here, which are now up on a pallet. Yeah, That's their hen house. I must do something about that. I'm not entirely happy with it. We did have a problem with 2 or 3 of the hens trying to roost on top. And I tried everything to stop them doing that. And in the end, the only thing I could find that would work were these bird spikes. They're not pleasant, and I didn't want to do that, but I couldn't find another way of stopping them. So there we go. So what will happen now over winter is essentially I will keep adding to this to the point where, I mean, you can see how deep the original deep litter bedding was. So we've managed to clear it out. It's only a fine covering, but it was very dry underneath, which is great. It was clean, there's no smell in here at all. And as you can see, nice and dry. And hopefully, well, it's a lot fresher in here. Not that it was bad, to be fair. So one of the things I found about the deep litter bedding method inside the tube here is that it really didn't smell at all. There was occasions when I'd had to have the windows closed where, you know, it smelled a bit chickeny, a bit pooey, to be expected. But I mean, it's a decent sized polytunnel, and we have 9 chickens in here. So, you know, there was always going to be a bit of build up, but I think over a 10-11 month period that this has been developing, I'm really pleased to see how dry it was, how clean the eggs are, how clean the chickens are, in comparison to last year. After the summer, before they moved into here, they were in the open enclosure, and you know, it was not great. So this is a much improved system. Very pleased with it. Overall, I think if I have to clean the whole thing out every year, I'll do it in the late summer again. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased with how that went. If you want to see more about keeping chickens in a polytunnel, I did a pros and cons video. That was before we'd had them in here for very long. So over nearly a year, I can now say it's a success so far. It didn't blow away, chickens didn't die, so it was all good so far. And as we head now into autumn and then probably quite quickly into winter, I'm looking forward to being able to clean them out and feed them, collect the eggs and stuff without having to trudge through snow and mud and all the rest of it. So all good. So there we go, that's my update around the deep litter bedding, and if you give it a go, I hope it works for you as well.